Hi there, and welcome to this series of videos to help you with your maths revision. So giving you time to look at a question, decide how you would start it, and then going through the answers. A daily dose of 3 questions, 1 pure, 1 stats, and 1 mechanics. So let's get started. Each video will show you a question, give you some tips by focusing on the keywords and drawing out how to approach that question, and then giving the answers. So here's today's pure question. So with this question, we're given 2 points that are either end of the radius. So one of them is the center of the circle. We're asked to find the equation of the circle given that the x-axis is tangent. So this circle is going to sit on the x-axis. So drawing the 2 points to start with, we've got A at -1, 2 and B at 3, 5. So finding the length of that line, we can see the horizontal distance here is 4, just looking at the x-coordinates, and the vertical distance here is 3. So we've got a 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple, so we'll know the length of that is 5. And that's going to tell us that the point B is going to be the center, because if we want it to sit on the x-axis, then this is also going to be a radius here, and it is of length 5. So with our center here at 3, 5, because that is going to be our radius, they're both radii, both of 5, we need to remember what the equation of a circle is. The equation of a circle is x minus a all squared plus y minus b is equal to r squared, where AB is going to be the center. So this comes from Pythagoras, because if we take any point xy on the circle, so it's going to have center at A, B, and then this point xy, xy, we can just do some Pythagoras, and then this distance here is going to be x minus a, and this distance here is y minus b. So just put in those two lengths into Pythagoras' theorem, because the radius is going to be r. So that's how we get the equation of the circle. So A and B is our center, which is here at 3, 5. So if we just put those numbers in, it's going to be x minus 3 all squared plus y minus 5 all squared is equal to 25. Here we have some coded data. So some students have sat some exams, they've got some marks X, and to each of those marks you've times them by 1.4 and taken off 20 and got a coded set of marks which are Y. Now the coded set of marks have a mean average of 60.8 and a spread standard deviation of 6.6. Now when you have the original X marks, when you times and when you take away, both of those operations will affect the mean, but only one of those operations will affect the spread, the standard deviation. So we've had some scores and we've performed this formula to get some new scores y, and the new scores have a mean and spread of those values there. We need to unravel back to get what the original wants. So just to explain what effect the coding will have on the data, I've got some marks here of 1, 2, 3 that have a mean of 2. Now I've got some marks of 11, 12, 13, they've got a mean of 12, and some marks of 10, 20, 30, they've got a mean of 20. So what has the coding done to get from this set to this? We've just added 10. And you can see that the mean has also added 10. Now to get from the original set to this set here is going to be a times by 10, and the original mean has had to be times by 10. So when we're shifting these original marks and coding them and just moving them up the number line, the mean is affected. Now looking at the spread of the original marks has a spread of 1. The 1 and 3 are either side of the 2, and when we've just shifted those 3 values up by 10, the spread here is still 1. So moving those original marks up the number line is not affecting the spread. But here in the last set, when we've times by 10, the spread has also times by 10. So when we have performed these operations, the 1.4 timesing by the X marks is going to affect the spread, but the fact that we've taken them down 20 marks on the number line is not going to affect the spread. So we need to get the X bar mean, and this is the Y bar. So all we need to do is solve for that X bar. So you do 60.8, add on the 20 and divide by the 1.4. So the mean of the original data, if you do those operations, is 57.7. But for doing the standard deviation and getting the standard deviation of the original X marks, we just need to do 6.6 divided by 1.4. And that will give us the standard deviation. You do not need to do anything with the minus 20. So if we do that, the standard deviation of the original X values is going to be 4.71. So with this question, the key words are that we've got constant velocity. It sets off at noon, and later in the day at 2:30, it has a different position, and we have to find the velocity. So because we're going at constant velocity, then we're just going to use the fact that speed is equal to distance over time. So the boat starts at noon from a position of 3 minus 4. I like to work in columns, so that is 3 minus 4 as a column vector. 2.5 hours later, because on the same day at 14:30, the position is going to be 8:11. So to find out the journey between those two, if you do 8:11 minus 3 minus 4, you will get horizontally 8 minus 3, 5, and 11 minus 4, 15. So that is the journey that it's taken. It's gone 5 along and 15 up to get between the 2 points. Now, because we're going at constant velocity, we can just use this formula triangle and get that speed is equal to distance over time. The distance travelled in terms of the vector is 5:15, and the time taken is just 2.5. So we just need to divide 2.5 into both of those components. So how many 2.5s are there in 5? There's going to be 2, and how many 2.5s are there in 15? 6. So that is going to be our speed, and they want us to put it in I and J form, so that's just going to be 2I plus 6J. That's going to be in kilometers per hour because all our numbers were in kilometers and hours. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this has helped you with your revision. If you have any comments that you want to leave or any particular questions you want me to focus on in any of the 3 strands, the pure, the stats or the mechanics, please do leave any questions. Please do like and subscribe, share it with your friends, do all that good stuff. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one.